So the third external library that I chose to discuss is called Panda, which is panel data. So Panda or the panel data is a Python library that allows user to work with data frames by providing tools for reading, writing, subsetting, manipulating, and reshaping data. So I can take a pause here for a second or a minute, 30 seconds or 45 minutes. Run this instruction on your terminal and it will install Pandas right onto your computer, assuming that pip is already installed. So since I already have pip installed on my computer, if I would just go to the terminal right here and just simply type in pip install and pandas. That's it. And when you hit enter, it either tells you that requirements already satisfied if it is already installed, or it will install it right away. And it shouldn't take more than a couple of seconds. Yeah. Okay, so I'll pause for a while and then move forward. So there are two ways in which data can be represented in Python. There is one way called series and the data frames. Okay, so series is one-dimensional array in like a column in a table. So just like I gave you an example snippet while I was presenting NumPy, similarly here, this code shows how we import pandas and give it an alias as PD or whatever you want to give. And then suppose that we have a list, we can just pass a list into series frame and it will create a panda series. Okay, so when you run this code and when you run the print statement, it will display the series, the panda series frame like this. So you have like A, B, C, the elements, and it also shows you the index, the default indexes 0, 1, 2. And D type corresponds to the data type. It is an object. Okay. So unlike a list, when you print a list, it will not display the indexes. But if you print a series, panda series, it also displays the indexes. Okay. So we can also create our own customized index by passing an additional argument into series method. So here you can see series, we are passing the list, and this is the index that we are passing. So we are passing indexes, the list in the form of a list, x, y, z. Now when you print it out, it will display the series frame like this. So A, B, C, and it has the indexes x, y, and z, which means that now I can access any particular value in this series with the help of the customized index. Okay, so rather than writing my var, rather than writing 2, rather than writing 1, I can write y, and it will also give me an access to the associated value, which is b. Okay. But while we define index, we can still access those elements with their default index values, which is 0, 1, and 2. Okay. So suppose we have created a series, we have a specified index, we can still access their values with their default values. Okay, this is important to remember. So both ways are correct. We can either access B with specifying Y or specifying 1. Both ways are correct. Okay. We can also create panda series using dictionaries. Okay, so we have already seen how to create a series with a list, and we can also create a series with a dictionary. So here in this example, we have 3 key value pairs, and you're passing this dictionary into series method and then printing it out. So when you print it out, you will see the key and value pair. Now the indexes are the keys. Okay, so index acts as a key values. Okay. So many a times we come across a situation just like, let me give you a very relevant example of this class. So I maintain the database of 170 plus students, which means that I have 170 rows in a spreadsheet. So instead of printing out or accessing the entire data, I can choose any specific row. Okay, I can create a subset by specifying what key values I want. So here you can see we can, in the index, we can specify day 1 or maybe day 3, and it will create a series based on only those key values. So out of many students, 100 plus students, I can specify which students' data I want to extract. I can specify the name of the students, and it will print it out. Okay? So this is all about series and the one-dimensional data. We can also create a two-dimensional data, which we call in Pandas as a data frame. So data frame is a two-dimensional tabular data structure with labeled columns and rows. So we have talked enough about that creating two-dimensional structure with the nested list or nested dictionaries. But here we can create two-dimensional data with the labeled columns and rows. So as same as spreadsheets, the data frame provides a way to store data in a very user-friendly way, which we can easily sort, easily categorize, easily analyze right on the terminal. So data frame has 3 components. The first one is index, which is the set of labels or names of each row. So if you have like 170 students, so in my case, the name of students or their IDs acts as index. Similarly, number of columns, the set of labels or names of each column. So in a spreadsheet, I have number of rows as a name of students, and the number of columns could be like lab scores, homeworks, exam 1, exam 2, exam 3, project, bonus, and so on and so forth. Okay? And the values are the actual data that is contained in each column. So as an example, this is how the data frame looks like. It has column label, it has row labels. In this particular example, it is the index values. And then we have the actual data, which acts as the values. Okay? All right, so let's move on. This is another example for the data frame. So you can see we can create a data frame with the help of dictionaries. So when we create a dictionary, you can see it here with the key. We have the entire value represented as a list. So every row in a dictionary acts as a column in a frame. I am repeating it. The row in a dictionary acts as a column in a frame. So here we are accessing the data frame with the help of PD, which is the alias of Pandas. We can also access it with a different way, like from Pandas import data frame. So in that case, we only have to refer data frame rather than writing pd.dataframe. And you have already experienced this in many projects. Agreed? That we have access from libraries, functions, and then the specific functions, whatever we need to import. So here we are importing, whatever we are importing, we can just directly access it without specifying the dot notation. So anyway, so when we print this out, the entire car data, again, recall that the row in a dictionary acts as a column in the data frame. So when I print it out, you can see it here, it will appear like this. So make is the key is a column label, make, model, MSRP are the column labels, and then the indexes in this list acts as a row indexes, okay, row label. And then we have Ford, Honda, Toyota, Tesla all appearing in this column under make. And then model has another column, and so on and so forth. Okay? Now here we are printing the entire data. When I go to IOTA, I can search any particular student name, and it will bring the entire data associated with that particular student. So I can also behind the scene, I can access it by specifying by using the LOC method to access any specific row. Okay, so here this thing will print the entire data. I can replace it with car data.loc 0. So here I'm specifying the index. I can specify the key which I want to display. So what do you think? What will be the content that will be printed out on terminal? So LOC 0 will give me an access to the row. So what will be the contents that will be displayed? Yes. Yeah?
The make of the car?
What's that?
The make of the car?
So that is the column label. That's the column title.
What give you the column?
So I repeat that each row in a dictionary acts as a column in a data frame. Yes? Again, as I said, the row in a dictionary acts as a column in a label. Sorry, column in a data frame. So make, model, MSRP are all the column labels. So we are printing out the first row, the 0th row.
Would that be the make row?
That would be what?
Make row?
What is make row?
The Ford, Honda, Toyota, Tesla.
It's not the row. It's not the make row. Make is the column. You see? Yep.
Maybe the Ford Taurus and the value of that.
It would be Ford Taurus 27595. Okay? Recall this. This is how the data frame was organized. When I print data frame directly, this is how the data is organized. Make is the entire column, model is the entire column, and MSRP. When I specify LOC 0, and it will print the entire row, Ford, Taurus, and 27595. Okay? So make sure that you understand this thing in order to prepare for the exam. So just like in data frames, we can also access the attributes. So for example, if I want to find out the indexes of my data, like row index or column labels, I can use the access attributes or the columns attributes. So I can find out like what are the assessments in my course by checking the columns label. So column label will give me an access to, like, it will return homework as the first column, maybe labs as the second column, third column might be exam 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth, class participation, projects, and all that. So it will give me an access to what are the assessments, what are the labels in the column. And same is the case, like you can try it out, different things. Values in the data frame, size, how many values are there, number of values in the data frame, and so on and so forth. So just like attributes, we have already talked about what are the attributes. It's associated with the characteristics of any class. Similarly, we can run specific functions like methods. So describe method will give you a statistical summary for numerical column. Similarly, there are head and tail method, which gives you an access to the first 5 or the last 5 rows, depending on which method we are using. So if I run a head method, it will by default display only first 5 rows. If I specify any value in it, for example, head 10, it will return the first 10 rows. Okay. Similarly, tail, if I specify 3, it will return 3 last rows. Okay. And these methods are very useful when you're dealing with a huge data set. Again, if you are dealing with only a small spreadsheet containing 5 rows, 6 rows, it may not make any difference. Rather, you will find it difficult to manage with Pandas. But if it has thousands of rows, then you will see its significance, how helpful it is to use and manage in Pandas. We also have a CSV module in Pandas, and just like we have talked about the CSV in the original Python CSV module, we also have read and discuss CSV. We can specify the CSV, and it will pull up all the comma separated value data and display it on terminal. The important thing to remember is, again, The purpose of Pandas is to deal with huge data sets. So if you are, for example, dealing with a data set containing thousands of rows, it will only display the first 5 and the last 5 rows. When you print DF, data frame, whatever you name it, it will print only first 5, excuse me, first 5 and the last 5 rows. But if you want to display the entire data set, you have to use to_string method. Okay, this is important to remember. DF is a frame. This is how you named it. If you just write print DF, it will by default only print the first 5 and the last 5 rows if the number of rows are lesser than the set threshold value. I will be talking about it in a while. But if you want to display the entire thing, you should use to_string method. Okay? So to determine system setting of displaying number of rows in the file, what you can do is you can run this thing. So for example, I can go in the terminal, invoke the Python interface, and I can write print function to read. Sorry, before I do this, I need to import pandas as pd, and then print pd.options.display. What I'm checking is what is the default value set to display the total number of rows. So when you hit enter, you'll see 60. It's the default in every computer. It might be different on your computer depending on what operating system you're using. But this value 60 tells us that if your file has 60 rows or less, then it will display the entire result. When you print the frame, it will display the entire result, all 60 rows. But if you have 61 rows, for example, then it will display only first 5 rows or the last 5 rows. And in that case, if you want to display the entire data, what do you do? To_string method. Okay? So if you have more than 60 rows, you can just run to_string method to display the entire data. Okay, so default value is 60. And if data contains more than 60 lines, print df according to the example we have been following. It will return only header and the tail first and last 5 rows. Okay. So maximum rows number option can be set. We can override this value. Default value is 60. We can access this attribute and give it a new value. So here in this example, the 9,999. So if your file that you're working with, if it has less than these many number of rows, then it will always display the data entirely. But if your rows become 10,000, then it will only display the first 5 and the last 5 rows. Okay, so you can override this. So these are some few examples here. You can try it out yourself, and this is documentation. Again, the purpose of discussing this library is to let you be aware of what is available in Python, because these 3 libraries are very popular in many of the projects that you probably will carry out in your next 4 years, in here or later on. So panel data, you are not going to do any activity, you are not going to do any mini project on it. Project is already finished, but you have a lab associated with it, which is this week. So although you have presented your project, but there was a lab exercises allocated to you, which is due after the Thanksgiving break on the following Monday. Okay, so there are only 2 exercises, and the 2 exercises for the homework.